So today's review for our FAST test is multiplying and dividing rational numbers. So the first one we want to do is we want to evaluate b plus c if b is equal to negative 3 6/10 and c is equal to 2/3. Okay? So when we do a problem like this, what's the first thing I need to do? Very good. So the first thing we want to do is substitute. Because remember, evaluate means to substitute and simplify. Okay? So we're going to put let's see here. For B, we're going to put a negative 3 6/10. So that's negative 3.6 plus C, which is 2/3. Now, when we do this, you guys, you can change these all to fractions or you can change them all to decimals. But look at what happens when you change 2/3 to a decimal. You divide 2 divided by 3, and what do you get? It's a repeating decimal. So that means we want to calculate this problem with fractions. Is everybody clear with that? So we're going to write negative 3.6 as a fraction. So if we read it correctly, that says 3 6/10, right? So this is going to be negative 3 6/10 plus 2/3. All right, so now when we do this, we can, we need to get common denominators, right? Can I go ahead and simplify the 6/10 though? Yeah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to simplify that by dividing by 2, and I'll get what? 3/5. Right, 3/5. So this is going to be negative 3 3/5 plus 2/3. Now, because I have integers here, positives and negatives, because I have the signs, I like to change my mixed numbers to improper fractions before I do any calculations, okay? So here, this is going to be negative 3 times 5 is 15 plus 3 is 18. So that's going to be 18/5 plus 2/3. And now I'm going to do some common denominators. What's the common denominator with 3 and 5? 15. Yeah. So we're going to multiply times 3 on this one, and we're going to multiply times 5 over here. So now let's do our common denominators. So we've got, let's see, 18 times 3, and that's going to be 54. So this is going to be negative 54/15 plus 10/15. Is everybody with me? So I'm just going to go this way because I don't have any more space over there. All right, so when we do this, we're going to look at the numerators. So we've got a negative 54 plus positive 10. What's that going to give me? Negative 44. Negative 44, right? Divided by 15. And this now is our subtotal answer, I guess you can call it. And now we have to change this to a mixed number, right? So how many times does 15 go into 44? And is it going to be positive or negative? It's going to be negative. So we've got 2 times, so it's going to be a negative 2. So 2 times 15 is 30. So how much do I have left? 14. So this is going to be a negative 2 15ths. So number 2, why don't you guys do that one with your table partners, and I'll do this and then I'll show you the solution. Go ahead and do that one with your table partners. All right, so this is one that you can change the fractions to decimals, because if you do 4 divided by 5, you're going to get 0.8. So I went ahead and completed this with decimals. Is everybody clear with that? Now, if they wanted you to have the answer in fraction form, could I change that to a fraction? Yeah, because 3.4, you read it correctly, is what? 3 and 4 tenths. 3 and 4 tenths. And then we can simplify that by dividing by 2, right? And that gives us 3 and 2/5. All right, so for number 3, we want to find the area of this triangle. Okay, so here's our diagram. What are we going to start with? Very good. So we're going to start with the formula. The formula for the area of a triangle is what? 1/2 base times height. Very good. And remember, the height is the one that drops down to a right angle. Okay? So if they had numbers on this side, you know it's going to be the one that drops down to the right angle. Is everybody clear? So now we substitute in. So we've got 1/2. Oh, and by the way, you could also do base times height divided by 2. That also equals area. Okay? All right, so we're going to substitute in. So we've got 1/2. The base is 5 and 7/12, so times 5 and 7/12, times the height, which is 3. Okay? So now this is my expression that I want to simplify. I want to first change my mixed number to an improper fraction, right? So we're going to multiply in this direction, and we're going to add in that direction. So let me rewrite. We've got 1/2. Then we've got 5 times 12 is 60, plus 7 is 67. So this is going to be, so times 67/12 times 3/1. So what can I do before I multiply? Simplify. Very good. So here I can simplify the 3 and the 12, right? So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Can I do anything else? Nope, that's it. So we have 1 times 67 times 1, 67. Then we have 2 times 4 times 1, that's 8, right? So how many times does 8 go into 67? 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64, right? And how many do we have left over?
3.
Very good. So this is going to be 8 and 3/8. And what's my label going to be? Inches squared. Very good, because we're solving for area. Number 4 says the Wildcats football team runs 3 offensive plays. They gained 3.5, 4 4/5, and 1 3/4 yards. How many total yards did they gain? So, what is the operation here? This is addition. Very good. All right, so we're going to add. So we have 3 and 5/10 plus 4 and 4/5 plus 1 and 3/4. Now, just looking at it, we should know, can I change those fractions to decimals?
Yes.
Yes, very good. So I'm going to rewrite. So I have 3.5 plus 4 and what? 8/10, right? So that's 4.8 plus, what about this one? What can I change this one to? Oh, we already know that one is 0.75, right? Okay, so this one is going to be 1.75. And now you can just add with your calculator. Right, so here we have 10.05. So this is 10.05. And what are my units? Yards. Very good. All Number 5 says, find negative 11/12 divided by negative 2/3. Express your answer as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. So I'm going to rewrite. We've got negative 11/12 divided by negative 2/3. Now, negative divided by a negative is going to be a what? Very good. And how do I divide fractions? Very good. We're going to keep, change, flip. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we've got negative 11/12. The division becomes multiplication, and the negative 2/3 becomes negative 3/2. Very good. And now, before I multiply, can I simplify? Yep. All right. So let's see here. The 3 and the 12, right? So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Can I do any more? Nope. All right. So we already know it's going to be positive because negative times a negative is a positive. So 11 times 1, 11. Over 4 times 2, 8. Now we change to a mixed number. So how many times does 8 go into 11? 1 time with 3 left over. Very good. So that's going to be 1 3/8 and no label. So number 6, we want to evaluate 2AB. What does 2AB mean? 2 times A times B, right? Okay. And then 4B means 4 times B, right? Okay, good. So we have 2 times A, which is 1/3, times B, which is negative 4/5, minus 4 times B. So that's 4 times B, which is a negative 4/5. Everybody good? All right. Does not look like I can simplify anything, right? And either one of them. Okay, so we're going to continue. So 2 times 1 times 4 is 8. Over 1 times 3 times 5 is 15. And is that going to be positive or negative? Right, because there's only one negative there, so this is going to be negative. Minus 4 times 4 is 16. Over 1 times 5 is 5. And is that one going to be positive or negative? That's going to be negative. Very good. So now we need common denominators, right? So we're going to, the common denominator with 5 and 15 is, right? So we're going to multiply times 3 over here. And when we rewrite, we have a negative 8/15 minus a negative 16 times 3, 48. Oh gosh, I knew that. 48/15. Everybody good? Now, what do I do when I'm subtracting signed numbers? Keep, change, change. Very good. Keep, change, change. So I'll rewrite. Oh, let me keep, change, change. You guys rewrite. So now, what's the rule if I have a positive plus a negative? We're going to take the sign of the bigger number, and what do I do to the numbers? Very good. We subtract them. So 48 minus 8 is 40. Is it going to be positive or negative? What's bigger, 48 or 8? So is that going to be positive or negative? That's going to be a positive. So that's going to be 40/15. Is everybody clear? So how many times does 15 go into 40? With how many left over? 10, right? So that's going to be 2 and 10/15. And then, of course, we can simplify that by dividing by 5. I just love fractions. So this is going to be 2n 2/3. Very good. So this is one that we could change that 4/5 to a decimal, right? So 4/5 as a decimal, 0.8, and then we're going to divide by 2500, negative. And so positive divided by a negative is a negative. Now, if they wanted you to write this as a fraction, what would the fraction be? Negative what?
Negative 3
2/10, which simplifies to, very good, negative 3 1/5.